look around you. And you'll see who you are. Yes, you will. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You feel poured out every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you never ever heard before. Come on, snap. And on a clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and never and never and never more. On a clear day from the top, hey, rise and look around you, and you see who you are. Yes, you will. On that clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never ever heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever and never and never and never more. More. You can see forever. You can see forever, forevermore. More. You can see forever. You can see forever, forevermore. On a clear day, on a clear day, on a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever. You can see forever. You can see forever, 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 ever, 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 ever. On a clear day, on a clear day, on a clear day, on a clear day, on that clear day.
Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. That particular, I requested that Tyrone sing that, and I will include it a bit. Let me just greet y'all properly. Good morning, heart and soul. It's good to see y'all all gathered here. You know, let me just acknowledge how good it feels to have y'all's energy in the room. Thank you for that. Thank you, Tyrone. And thank you for y'all at home gathering I'm sure propped up with pillows and snacks and all the things. Don't get any ideas here. This is this is what we're loving this, and we're loving you for tuning in. Thank you so very much for being with us today. Not unlike what we have done for I don't even know how long we have been declaring that this is an adventure in faith. Even today, an adventure in faith. And I'm offering you that as a way of framing life. Because here's what I know for sure is that life is lifing. And sometimes it feels exactly the way you intended. And sometimes you are wondering, how'd this happen? Why me, Lord? Yes? And my prayer is that in those moments, that can be a moment of recollection that this is an adventure in faith. I mean, what if just for drill, not that this has to be your experience, but what if when that experience, when you're engaged in that experience, when you're faced with that situation, that circumstance, that ordinarily would feel like, why me, Lord? And an invitation to maybe give up? What if, just for drill, if you took on a sense of, this ain't nothing but an adventure in faith. Let me get my faith drag. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that when you feel like I am guided and guarded, whatever it is when you feel like I got this, and you know it's not you, whatever that is, whatever that drag is because see, I was raised by a tailor and designer. My father was a tailor and designer, and so very often what comes to me is that I have a drag for pretty much everything. Sometimes I'll look at myself in the mirror and think, that ain't where you going today. And it may be not a physical destination, but that ain't where you going, girl. That look right there, when you see you will know. Now, other people may not know, but I'll know I don't mean business about this. I don't feel empowered about this. See, there's a drag that when I put it on, now it may not be all clothing. Y'all know I'm a metaphorical speaker. You're going to have to try to keep up, yes? I'm not talking about just clothing. I'm talking about the consciousness. So there's a consciousness that when I look in the mirror, I'm like, you're going to have to change that. Because that consciousness is not up to today. The today that's headed your way, you ain't ready for that. You're going to have to change something. So I don't know if it's the earrings, if it's the look in my eye, if it's the cock of my head, if it's the swag. Sometimes you're just going to have to swag it in. Even if, and there are those who say fake it till you make it. I'm not clear what that means, but you may have to assume the posture, the mindset of whatever is required in order for you to accomplish what this day is inviting you to. And every day invites you. Did y'all know that? Every day is a full intention. A full-on invitation, an intentional invitation to you to be your best you. Now, you can show up dragging if you want. There was, Robert, in your prayer this morning, I heard something that sounded like that I, as the senior founding minister, carry a light toward what? Torch. Carry a torch. And the impression I got, I don't know the words, was like I was guiding the way to do it. But what I want y'all to know is I love you so much, I have also guided you on what not to do. Because I would not I would not want to leave the impression that this is a mountaintop teaching and that I have only shown the torch for the highway. There have been those times when I said, y'all watch this. Look what the low road gets you. And of course I did it for you. It's my dedication. Suffice it to say, I did it. Even while knowing better, it's an interesting thing in this celebratory time that we're in for Heart and Soul celebrating 15 years, which is noteworthy. Noteworthy. The statistics would say that we are living in a miracle. And especially in these times, to have, one, been successful to COVID, and then to evolve during and beyond. Can I just say we're doing something in here? Yes? Yes. Yes. This is a worthy endeavor. And so you're invited to join us for our gala. But let me just say, you got to get your tickets today. We have about 6 tickets left. And so if you intend to be there, you need to get in right now. Now, I'm saying this, and I know it's being broadcast, and so there's that says, what are you doing when you got 6 tickets? Talking to an infinite number of people. But we'll just work it out, because it'll all be time-stamped. And while typically it's no refunds, this might be an exception, and it could be your way of donating. This could be your way of saying, I'm going to get a ticket, and if there are tickets still there, I'll be there, and if they're not, consider that my donation and my intention to have been there. Yes. So in addition to that, we are also asking for your intentional support financially. And I'm grateful for all that you have already given. And this is an opportunity to celebrate, honor, and support Heart and Soul on an anniversary tip. And so there's some ideas for how to do it, but you know how to give. You don't need no ideas on how to give. Just give and know that we appreciate and are honored by your gifts. A little earlier, we affirmed together, thank you for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. For most of us, it's aspirational because we do have complaints. And at the same time, we know the power of gratitude. Thank you for everything. It's aspirational so that we could begin shifting our mindset in a way where we can find gratitude. Now, sometimes it may take a couple of decades. Can I just say, am I making it up? Hasn't it taken you 20 years to look back on something and say, thank you, God? All that carrying on I did, the hanging on to the ankles, and I just don't want to. Now it's like, ooh, baby, thank you. Thank you. Thank you that I didn't go, that I didn't stay. Thank you. Yes? So I don't know how long it takes us to come to ourselves in a full realization of gratitude. What I do know is the better you get at the practice, the freer you are. And if anything, this ministry, our spiritual intention is freedom. This is why Mother Harriet Tubman is our patron saint. Because for me, at least, for many of us, she represents freedom. Freedom in a place, in a space where it's not to even be considered. But she illustrates, she demonstrates, she models, consider it anyway. claim it anyway. It's impossible, claim it anyway. It's nobody can do it. Where will you go? How will you get there? Do it anyway. And that is such an important message for many of us. Well, for me. For me. Because when stuff comes up, and trust me, the little 20 years in ministry is not an inoculation. Stuff comes up all deep and through. And I'm kind of thinking, on account of my stepping forward in ministry, I get most stuff. I don't know that to be true, but that's what I'm going to believe. I done got more than my fair share of stuff. And the opportunity to prove the divine in my life. Don't always get it right away. But in time, I can show up in gratitude and in thanksgiving. That's the invitation. Thank you for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. These attitudes, what we affirm, is essential because it is done unto us as we believe. So as we shift our belief systems, as we work in our lives so that we are believing rightly, so that we are believing righteously, so that we are believing God is good, and that there is only one life, and that life is God. And so because that is true, let's apply the law of transitivity. If we're ever going to apply it, this would be the place to apply it, that if God is good and everywhere always present, it would have to be happening right here, right now, and everywhere. That would mean there is truly not a spot where God is not. Now, I don't know if you heard yourself included in any of that, but my prayer is that you hear yourself included in all of it. In all of it, and that you find a way to begin affirming the truth of your being without an expectation that everyone's going to agree with you. That's essential. Because the goodness that is God is not necessarily as popular a view as you might think. There are those who benefit personally and collectively from a sense of projecting self-loathing. Have I gone too far? Okay. There are those who benefit, I'm not clear how, well, let's just say I'm not clear how, by your, our, others' self-loathing. I could be talking advertising. Does that make sense? That there really is an assumption that you are not whole, perfect, and complete exactly as you are. But if you buy this, you'll get closer. And once you get that, we're going to have to improve that because that didn't quite do the job. Is this making sense? So to the extent that we buy into that, we're in it. To the extent that you have a clear sense that God is and I am, and you somehow are willing to make that a full stop. God is, I am. I mean, what if that was like your chant? So I gave you a spiritual practice assignment a couple of weeks ago, and it was upon awaking, begin to see your day. Just imagine it. Imagine it at its highest and best, whatever you can. You're not, there's not going to be a quiz. We're not going to compare visions later. It's just be with it for yourself. Do you? Feel you. What is today? Oh, there's a meeting. Or it's some personal time for me. What is that? How is this day? Begin imagining what? Because it's done unto us as we believe. How do you see you? How you see you is how you gonna do you. And how it will be done unto you. Yes? Thank you. Somebody. Say something. Somebody. Yes? Yes. So look, I am blessed that about 40 years ago, I was exposed to a woman, Reverend Dr. Terry Cole Whitaker. In the early 80s, that's how I met Tyrone. And that's how I met Reverend Jack and Reverend D. Jacqueline Edwards. We were all in that first course in San Francisco that she offered. And it absolutely changed my life. And so today I bring that up again because last week, Dr. Terry passed. Just a tremendous legacy. And I'm a part of that. Because what I know for sure is I would not be standing here if Reverend Terry hadn't had that little 2 a.m. ministry. Oh, I missed that. Oh, that was much later. In 1981, it was on what someone in the room is saying, it was on Sunday at 7:30 in the morning. I was like, no, it wasn't. And I thought, yeah, in due time. That was many years later. When I met her, she was on at 1 a.m. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And that was back before we were doing, no, I will not be tricked into walking miles to school and all. No, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. But look, she sowed the seed. She introduced me to using she didn't introduce me. She introduced me to using affirmations affirmatively, because I was using affirmations. Had mastery in using affirmations, but they were all working me against me. I was using affirmations brilliantly to see myself as less than. To note every time I erred and caught myself erring, that I could spend the day revisiting my erring. So I had mastery in affirming what I didn't want. And she helped me shift that to affirming my heart's desire. I shall forever be grateful. I'll tell y'all something. There was... I did those first classes that she held in San Francisco, and then Reverend Jack and I literally commuted to San Diego every weekend for 10 weeks. We'd leave early on Friday afternoon and then get there for the Saturday class and then, return usually on Saturday evening. And I am forever grateful for that. There was a time and it was in that class that Dr. Terry left ministry in that form. She decided to honor her nomadic self and to make some other choices. And I'm grateful for that because I was all in. And I don't know if I'd have moved to San Diego or what would have happened because I made the connection with the person in addition to the information. But because she left, doing that, I was left to study on my own. And that created and birthed a whole new me out of that process. As I tipped in and out of East Bay Church, that's when Reverend Amon was there and first Dr. Ernie Forks. And so I was tipping in and out of there and getting some of that and mixing it in with what I had. And then all of the things. And I am so, so very grateful. So very grateful. There was a moment, not considering ministry for myself, but there was a moment when Dr. Cherry had a look. And there was a moment when I caught myself sketching her. And I actually didn't remember this. I just found old journals. This is some years ago. And I actually sketched what she was wearing. And then we invited her to speak here in the Bay Area. And when I picked her up, or when I went to pick her up for that Sunday when she was speaking, she literally had on an outfit that I owned. And it was just that y'all not none of y'all are the daughter of a tailor, so y'all know, well, one of y'all is. So y'all don't understand the significance, because that took me back to that moment when I was, do y'all understand that I'm not just telling you a story, I'm still teaching? Because how we use our imagination has everything to do with where we go and how we get there. So I was imagining without even a full conscious awareness, but I was imagining my highest and best. And I guess the wardrobe that I would wear there. So here I am, one of her students. Reverend Terry introduced me to Neville Goddard. The first book other than her own that I recall, and I don't remember the details, what it was she was teaching in 81, but I do recall that she said, read Your Faith is Your Fortune. And I have read it many times since then. It's one of my favorite Neville works. And I'm going to draw from that today. One of the things that Neville Goddard, as a speaker and author, is the master to me, in my limited universe, is the master of how to engage imagination for the highest and best self-expression. One of the things he says is that imagination creates reality. Imagination fulfills itself in what your life becomes. That life is always externalizing whatever you are imagining. So if you know that, first of all, let's say you mess around and believe that. Lucky you. Why? Because it is done unto you as you believe. And if you believe your imagination has power, well, first of all, it does. If, as you are believing that, you can then do your imagining intentionally. Remember how I told you I had mastered affirming. Reverend Terry didn't teach me how to do affirmations. She taught me how to do them intentionally. But I was doing them, and they were working, which is why I was up at 2 a.m. with the TV on. If I hadn't been in that swish of a world, I'd have been asleep and living a different life. So this idea of using our imagination intentionally is the same thing. Because right now, with the proper guidance, we could imagine stuff that would have us sweating and scared. Even though it is but in our own mind. It's not that whatever it is we would imagine is actually there, except that for us it is. Because our system does not know the difference between what we imagine vividly. And when I say vividly, I mean with feeling. Feeling is key to this. If you're imagining something and it ain't giving you no kick, you're just thinking loud. Imagining in the way that I'm speaking of it, your feelings are a part of it. And if when you feel it, you know something is happening. So you're imagining the job interview. Tell me something. Who's working on something? Who's imagining something or wants to? Okay, holla. Yes. Doing well in your work and in the world. Would you say your name for me? Dean. Thank you, Dean. Are you willing to be more specific? Give me one specific, because that's very broad, as you can see that I don't have any picture.
Yeah, I think changing how people understand how to recognize.
They're going to hand you a mic just so I don't have to try to repeat.
Changing how people recognize how youth are developing and being able to measure that.
Okay, so this is about youth development. Positive youth development is a vision that you have for your life.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, just that look says, tell me just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we think a lot about youth development in terms of grades,
right?
Attendance.
Right. However, you
want people to think about youth development in terms of healing.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dean. Thank you. Okay. So if the vision, your heart's desire is for you to fully be ingrained, anchored, rooted in this sense of youth development being about healing. Yes? So then the imagining for that, what might you imagine? Now, while Dean is thinking about this, Dean is all of us. Do you get that? This is not us being looky-loos. This is him having the courage to offer us an opportunity for us to see ourselves and whatever it is we're working in. Yes? Okay. So what do you see in that?
I see how maybe parents or caretakers are spending time with the other adults in their children's lives, teachers, counselors, being not about,
Oh, don't tell me what it's not about. Tell me what it is.
Being about how well a young person is engaging in the world and understanding challenge.
Nice. May I help a little bit?
Yeah, please.
So the picture might be seeing adults surrounding and with young people in a way that infuses that energy, that kind of idea. Not trying to put words, but putting a picture. Because the key is that it's not about the words so much. It's about the picture. What do you see? And when we bring up young people, we're seeing different things. Even before we bring up ethnicity, we're seeing different things. So for each of us, given this idea, if we were going to be a part of Dean's mastermind for this, what is it that we would be willing to see? What is it that we'd be willing to know? What's the vision ultimately, and then all the little pictures of it? Yes? Thank you so much, Dean. Thank you. So this notion of our imaginings from this I want to I want to bring to you again this little piece that I wrote. It started with the Gandhi quote, where Gandhi had kind of how we come to beliefs, and it just didn't sit right for me. So what I'm saying is that our thoughts and ideas become our beliefs, and it's because we are in picturing them. We talk a lot about out picturing, but I want us also focused on our in picturing. Does that make sense? Because even if you never learned nothing about out picturing, you could skip that. Because it's the in picturing you need to get down. Like if that was two different courses, if it was picturing, out, and in, take the in class. because it's the in picturing that determines the out. Yes? So we want to become masters at this in picturing. So I say our ideas and thoughts become our imaginings. And so you got to watch them. You got to make sure that you don't nurture those that you don't want to end up imagining, because, newsflash, you will end up imagining it not working. So, Dean, you got to be really careful, because if you tune into the news, it will give you some other pictures that may crowd out because the news is going to be in full color. And sometimes our imaginings have not yet evolved to full color. And let me just tell you, in our minds, full color will trump black and white. And so what will happen is you'll end up infecting your imagining with some stuff you don't want. Simply because there has been such an impression made on your psyche, in your consciousness, something else poured in that you weren't watching the spigot, so to speak, the opening. And so you may find yourself filled with ideas that contradict your heart's desire. But that's okay, because you can only change when you have the conscious awareness. Change happens from a conscious place. Well, intentional change. Intentional change happens from a conscious place. Yes? For some, yeah. All right. All right. We's in this together, y'all. Come on now. So because change happens from a conscious place, you want to be awake at that moment. Now, you're not going to catch all your errors. You will end up singing songs you don't want to sing. Lyrics you don't want to sing, because why? They have made an impression in your psyche, in your subconscious. So there you're singing lyrics you no longer believe, you don't want in your consciousness, but unfortunately they're there. But that's okay. When you catch it is when you can correct it. Now, you may sing it for a week before you realize, I don't want to sing that. But in that moment, rather than crying and being despondent, make a change. Own the moment of awareness. Yes? Can you feel the difference? All right. Thank you. So this idea, our ideas and thoughts become our imaginings, and our imaginings become our beliefs. If we imagine it long enough, you will not know where it begins and you end. There's that one that happens. We enact our beliefs. That's what happens. We start living them. Our actions become habituated. Our habits inform our values. Our values shape our vision, and our vision illuminates infinite possibility. It is truly done unto us as we believe. Yes, Lord. So look, I want to play. I gotta play with this though. Yeah, next week's end. Yeah, I gotta go. Come on, y'all, just buckle up right here. Here we go. This little piece, I just did a little tweak on something someone sent me. God never gives you a dream or a vision that equates to your past or your current budget. And I should have put ellipses, or your current friends, or where you live right now. Do you see what I'm trying to say here is that, okay, here we go, in the vernacular. He's not checking for how you used to be or what you used to do or your financial resources. He's checking for your faith. Yes? Yes, so this is an invitation for us to let go. So sure enough, in any given moment, you're standing someplace. And that someplace is linked to a whole past. But it's also a jumping off point. Y'all don't understand what I mean. So sure enough, there's a whole trail behind you of where you've been, what you said, what you didn't say, what you did, what you didn't do. It's all the stuff. Now, you can spend the time turned this way, trying to rework that to maybe make it look better, reorder the chairs on the Titanic some. But it's already, whatever it already is. So it can be a divine jumping off point. It can be a perfect little diving board, a springboard into whatever's next. Go ahead, pile it up so you can stand on it. You understand what I'm saying? Pile it up. Don't let it just hang all around. Put it there so you can get on it. To make sure you're benefiting from it. Yes? Yes, because you have something to do. You have more to be. And all of this is happening in this way. So I'm going to take you to Joshua 1, where the prophecy is that every place, for Joshua, every place that the sole of your foot will tread in it shall be yours. Now, many of us as youngsters learned the song, Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, 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 and the walls came tumbling down. Yes? So we know the little ditty. Some of us do, if not, just it's this idea that Joshua was to have Jericho, but Jericho had a wall around it. Now, first of all, in Scripture, we're looking at the metaphor of it. So we're not talking Joshua as Joshua. We're talking Joshua representing you. Jericho representing whatever your heart's desire is. It's the healing of the children. That's the Jericho. What's yours? Freedom for all people. What's yours? Come on. Healing people, yes. What's yours, Troy? Happiness and safety for your family. Okay, so everybody has a Jericho. The desire, yes. The intended outcome. And in many cases, we also got the Jericho wall. The set of beliefs that keep us from just strolling on in there being about it. Yes, from going to the interview knowing I'm the one. From standing in whatever it is in certain ways. For going the distance for whatever it is that we are called to go. Is this making sense? So you understand your Jericho and there's likely a wall. Why? Because you're accomplishing it requires that you be... Let me be clear. If you were already who you needed to be in Jericho, you'd be there. That's what the runway is for. It's so you can work it out, so you can become whoever it is you need to become, so that you can let go of whatever it is you need to loose, so that you can stand in your Jericho-ness. Yes, you get that for real, for real? Is there a question about that? Okay, so when you are vibrating at the mental, emotional, spiritual vibration of Jericho, now what does Jericho stand for? Your heart's desire. Yes? So when you're vibrating at the level of whatever it is that your heart's desires, you will also be the physical expression of it. But not until. And if you somehow manage to fake it, it won't last long. Because it can't. This is an energetic universe. If you're not the match for it, you can't keep it. So we're doing our inner work pardon me, we're doing our inner work with the intention of matching it to our outer. That it be reflected in our outer. Yes? Okay. So Neville offers us. So here's what happens with Joshua. Joshua, I'm going to update it for now. I'm not sure I can. And I'm going to use some old terms just to keep me from any of y'all pulling me aside later. So Joshua knows that he's to have Jericho. The wall, though, surrounds it, and he can't figure out how to get past the wall. He hires the harlot. Now, this notion, metaphysically, of the harlot, which would have been a prostitute, or on that level. Well, when you think about what that represents someone that will do whatever you ask them to do. And so it has less to do with the label or any slut shaming. It has to do with the metaphorical power of engaging that part of our being that will do whatever you ask of it. So he asked her to go in and see what's happening. So there's that part of you that can discern beyond your conscious ability to discern. But you got to tap into it. He ultimately, surrounds and goes around the wall and plays the trumpet, and the 7 times being the symbolism of completion, of an idea completed and celebrated. And it's said that the wall comes tumbling down. Now, we are not talking about, and here's how you can tell if you're missing the point. If you are wondering what was the wall made of, you'll know I'm not even talking to you, because you have left the room. Because this wall is a wall of your making. This was Joshua's wall. It would be my way of saying to you, there ain't no wall but for the one you made. And if you made it, guess what? You can take it away, but only when you decide that you have the capability, that you are the one that you've been waiting for, essentially. Because you've probably been waiting for the people to come get the wall down or change the HR process on your job or evict your neighbors or, whatever the stuff is that's going on in the world where you waiting on systems and processes and other people to do stuff. And instead, you can realize this is an inside job. Whatever I think is blocking me because I think it's blocking me. And when I decide that I can send in that part of my knowing that will do whatever it is I bid of it, tell me everything you say to her. Reveal the keys to the kingdom. All of this. See, you're all the parts. There's not a name I've named that we're not talking about you. Yes? Oh, this is good. Y'all need to fix that clock because it looks like I'm out of time and I feel like I couldn't be. But I got to tell you this. So Neville says that Joshua, that there truly is a victorious formula. So he offers Joshua's victorious formula. Number 1, define your objective. That's your heart's desire. Know exactly what it is you desire so that you have what? A clear mental picture of it. that your imaginings are not infected by other ideas to the contrary. Oh, get your phones out. All right. Shift your attention away from the obstacles which separate you from your objective. I don't care. Neville and I don't care whether they are, quote, real or false. Don't get your attention off of them, whatever they are. Yes? Whatever you think is stopping you, get thee behind me, whatever I have been thinking was stopping me. Because I am here forward, focused on the heart, my heart's desire, exclusively. Now, we say that like, I'm going to do that starting right now and do it all the time and never fail to do that. When you catch yourself not doing it correct, don't give up. Yes? 3, close your eyes and feel that you are already in Jericho or the state that you would capture. Whatever it is you need to be, you already know what you need, or you think you do. But the first thing is for you to be that in mind, in spirit. Yes? This is you imagining. Then Neville says, remain in this psychological state, because this is what it is. It's engaging your mind usefully. I told you, Terry Cole Whitaker didn't teach me to affirm. She taught me to affirm righteously. So this is teaching you to imagine intentionally. Remain in this psychological state until you get a conscious reaction of complete satisfaction in this victory, until you can play your trumpet. Now, do not, y'all, I just can't. Then, but it's not until you can see it, pardon me, until you can feel it, until you can do your victory dance, sing your victory song, until you know that you know that you know that you know. Yes? So you're nurturing that state because you're creating something. Then he says, open your eyes and return to your former conscious state. So after you go through this assuming the psychological state required, which is for you to entertain that which would be yours if you were already victorious and actually engaged in the experience. So, Dean, may I? So, in what he offered, this would be in his case so that when he opened his eyes, he'd be surprised to find that there are no children present. Because the imagining of the working with the healing of the children would be so real in that moment that it would be like, oh, good. And then you go, oh, I'm here in my bedroom. It really felt like I was at the center. Maybe a center that you don't even know where that is. And the children, the processes, and the folks who are coming to help, it's all so real until you cannot differentiate between what you imagined and what is actually happening. This is the master level. We're going to spend some time on this in 2025 because this is key to us owning, key to us manifesting, key to us demonstrating our heart's desire. And we're doing this practice without doubt, without fear, in a state of mind that is fixed on what? A prearranged victory. Has everything to do with what we're believing. We're no longer afraid of any enemy that we may have held before or believed even existed before. None of that for us. Last week, Reverend Amon spent time on this, on the affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. That is really one of the ways that we invite in the amazing things. You know, when we think about the universe and all that it truly offers. But what I mean when I say that is when we think about it absent all of the Jericho walls, all of our thoughts of limitation, all of the yeah buts. Y'all know the yeah buts. That's what comes up when you have the vision and you're like, oh, I could. Yeah, but I didn't. They won't. Nobody's ever. That's the yeah buts. There are amazing things that are happening even right now and that we are calling forth in our lives individually and collectively. And so I say to you right now, do you in the most amazing way you can possibly imagine. To see yourself without the limits, whatever limits you may have put on you, so that you can realize the amazing things. I offer you now Tyrone Cozy and Thomas Hughes.
Rev, thanks you for mentioning Terry Cole Whitaker. She lived a long, full life. And if none of you have read her book before, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business, pick that book up. It changed my life. Talk about changing. Last time I sung this song was my granddaughter was 2, and I think she was just born, about 2 months old. And I sung it dedicated to her. And I get to do it again. That's her over in that little corner there. With her little brother on the way, by the way, which is really kind of cool. So Miss Naya, you can do amazing things, okay? Yeah. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take, bless the progress that you'll make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Oh, amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. All the places you will go, all the people you will know. Don't worry about when, where, or how. You don't even need to know about that now. The reason you give is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. You don't have to work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile. Thomas Hughes. Oh, you can work it out. Just stay in the here and now. Let your mind rest for a little while. Sometimes deepest answers come when you're out there having fun. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and smile. You better sing, girl. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing. Oh, amazing. You will do amazing things. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. You will do amazing things. Oh, oh, oh. You will do amazing, amazing things. You will do amazing, amazing things.